Welcome back, YouTube, and thanks for tuning in. My apologies for the delay in videos as I was predisposed at the moment.
Come on, poo already, butthole!
Today, we have an exceptional piece to review that has been flying under everyone's radar, the Prime 1 Studios Grimm Knight statue from the Dark Multiverse. And yes, I am aware that leading into 2024, I was saying I would not be expanding my dark metal line or purchasing as many statues, but I suppose I enjoy the mistreatment.
Stop it! This is why you keep getting molested!
This imposing collectible brings to life an alternate version of the Batman from the dark and gritty world of DC Comics. Join me as we explore the history, size, details, and all of the nuances that make this statue a must have for the serious collector. A true personification of the warped and twisted reality stemming from the dark metal storyline. And no, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a version of Batman spliced with the Punisher, one that utilizes lethal force indiscriminately as well as copious amounts of guns. Now, let's get into it.
You know damn well I stole it.
And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as it really helps to build the channel. The Grimm Knight comes from the Dark Multiverse, a sinister and twisted parallel dimension that mirrors DC Universe, but is filled with dark and nightmarish versions of familiar characters. He is essentially a more ruthless and militarized version of Batman. In this iteration, instead of Bruce being inspired by his parents' death to become a symbol of hope, he takes a much darker path. The Grimm Knight is defined by his use of lethal force, heavy weaponry, and a lack of traditional moral codes that Batman typically adheres to. He is prominently featured in the Batman Who Laughs miniseries, another malevolent and sadistic version of Batman which showcased his brutal methods. In the storyline, the Grimm Knight is recruited by the Batman Who Laughs, and the two characters share a dark synergy, both embracing extreme methods to achieve their goals. The Grimm Knight is often depicted wearing heavily armored suits adorned with various weapons, including firearms, knives, and other destructive tools. The design emphasizes his more aggressive and lethal demeanor. Unlike the traditional Batman, who relies on his detective skills and hand-to-hand combat, the Grimm Knight leverages his lack of moral restraint and absence of empathy, as well as an extensive arsenal of lethal weaponry. That being said, this may be one of the coolest and rebellious iterations of Batman ever seen. Makes the regular Batman look a little pathetic in comparison.
Oh my god, are you crying?
No, it's just raining.
Here, we have the single box used to ship from Prime 1. Larger than I was expecting, but happily, only one box. About 28 kilos or 60 pounds shipped. 67.5 by 52 by 80 centimeters in dimensions. And it was shipped via FedEx, which was new for me and a little pricey to be honest.
You're charging too high prices for you right to jail.
Inside, we are greeted with a fantastic art box. Much like the promotional campaign for this piece, it is shown without any weapons at all. Could explain why so many people were reluctant to order him. Also included was a double-sided instruction assembly sheet. Inside, we are greeted with the first layer. Uncovered is an arsenal to be revealed, which will adorn the base throughout the back. Despite being used as background components, the weaponry is highly detailed and well painted. Regardless of the angle, all of these pieces look exceptionally well done. Layer 2 of the box is still wrapped up. Uncovered, we are greeted with the base, character's body, two portraits as this is the exclusive, and a full-size 1/3 scale bust of the Batman Who Laughs, which joins to the base. Special note here, the chains and spikes that adorn the base are underneath the actual body of the statue. This is not mentioned anywhere, and you actually need these before you remove the body from the styrofoam. The statue's body is exceptionally heavy compared to other 1/3 scales. It is extremely detailed with multiple armor belts and weaponry holsters. Further, the costume is highly textured and well painted. Note the excessive keyholes and pegs for all of his arsenal to be attached. Batman Who Laughs component is identical to the 1/3 scale statue in size and sculpt. This component has a monotone concrete application to it, but is still remarkably well done. It really brings the essential component of their comic book relationship to life. Here, we have the first of the two portraits, typical Batman-esque, but for some reason the smile seems a little off to me.
Say, what's going on with your face? Ah, never mind, I don't care.
Regardless, it is well done and highly detailed, including the 5 o'clock shadow. Exclusive portrait is my personal favorite and really adds to the overall vigilante persona. The expression is intense, capturing the essence of the Grim Knight, unwavering determination. The coloring is masterfully done with subtle shading that adds depth and highlights to the nuances of the sculpt. Here, I just inserted a quick highlight of the fully assembled base, including the weaponry, the Batman Who Laughs bust, and the additional chains. Pay particular attention to the skulls and munitions that emblazon the base, as well as the rear-facing bat signal. This is an extensively and thoughtfully sculpted base, which is deserving of note. And finally, we have layer 3 here, still wrapped up. Unwrapped, we see multiple blades, the heavy munitions backpack, as well as 2 distinct sets of arms, straight and 90-degree bent, which can utilize one of the 3 sets of hands, those being closed-fisted, handheld machine guns, or long-barrel assault rifle and grenade launcher. Here, we have one of the 4 included arms. They are all identical and actually have real metal talons on them. And they are pointy. The multiple layers of armor and distinctive use of materials really showcases Prime 1's attention to detail and is commendable. Next, we have the 2 handheld machine guns. This is a fantastic swap out option and completely alters the size, footprint, and appearance of the knight. It implies a more agile and close combat tactician. These can be displayed with the straight arm option facing towards the ground or the bent arm version. Afterwards, we have the 3 monster assault rifles and shotguns that hang from the rear of the statue. They create a backpack of weaponry, all of them vastly different from one another and combine into one cohesive unit. Now displayed, we have the long barrel heavy artillery. These are both very big and very impressive. The level of detail is incredible. Even the different paint applications to highlight components of the weapons look superb, and they are both weathered well. Again, these can be used with both sets of arms. Finally, we have all of the auxiliary pieces to complement his armor. They attach everywhere on the statue. Also to note, the sword is actually metal. As usual, we have the 360-degree view and assembly video. Prime 1 Studio is proud to collaborate with comic book artist Jason Fabok, the latest addition to the Museum Masterline DC Metal series, the deadliest man alive, the Grim Knight from the Dark Knight's Metal Comics. Another dark multiverse Bruce Wayne, this alternative version of Batman, unlike Prime Earth's Batman, takes a lethal, more vigilante-style approach to crime fighting, giving no mercy to taking the life of those he feels deserve it. Going back to his childhood, when Joe Chill kills his parents, instead of being overcome by fear, young Bruce is overcome by anger, and we have the birth of the Grim Knight. Through close collaboration and direct inspiration based on Jason Fabok's iconic cover art, the Grim Knight stands 33 inches tall by 20 inches across and weighs 49 pounds. He stands in a strong, center-styled museum pose with weapons drawn. Recruited by the Batman Who Laughs and becoming second in command, the Grim Knight is the Batman at Total War and is quite literally the deadliest man alive. His numerous arsenals are all included as swappable weapons, and this could make him the most dangerous version of Batman yet. Here, we have an alternate version close-up with the handheld machine guns, just for reference. As well as the rear view close-up. Alas, we have him situated in his final display position. Behind him is an art print of the Grim Knight surveying Gotham in full armament. Surrounding the base, I was able to utilize and showcase his alternate weapons and portrait. I didn't even bother to unbox the closed gripped hands, as they will never be used. Something about this piece and the guns that just draws my attention to it every time I enter the room, and it's almost empowering to me.
Get some help.
I have to admit, I have always had an eye on this piece, but was able to restrain from acquiring him for a long time. I was able to secure it at a greatly reduced rate, and am kicking myself for waiting. I had no idea how well sculpted and detailed this piece was until I unboxed him. It really fits in well with all of my other Dark Universe pieces and complements the collection beautifully, thus elevating it to another level. If anyone is interested in this piece, Sideshow has been highlighting it on the daily deals at upwards of 30% off, which can be coupled with other promotions and techniques to get the price down. There is an art to saving on these collectibles as long as you pay attention. Drop your comments below and let's continue the conversation. Thanks for joining today, and don't forget to share with your fellow collectors. Until our next adventure, keep your passion for collecting alive and your love for superheroes soaring.